how you want them to jump 1.
Collective.
All right, how do you want them to jump 2?
Collective.
How do you want them to jump 3?
Extension.
That's
Collective.
We're
collective.
going to 4.
It's still collective.
That's a lot of collection, okay?
Yeah.
So if we were to start out,
But this time they're not
if I'm standing here,
Wait.
and I got my dog over by the X pen, am I cueing extension or collection?
Extension.
Relative extension, even though I'm facing. But I see this over and over again, and people go, well, I got to be out here. I got to give them room to land. All right?
Oh, they still got.
All right? You don't need to do this. You could stand here, right? And you could get collection and leave. But I have another way that I've been doing it, and this is what I'm seeing the other people do. I stand here. Now I have even more collection, so I can stand here and do just what we've been doing, jump and leave, and my dog never has to be worried about me standing in a space or me leaving late. And guess what? I'm a full step closer to the yellow jump than the person on the landing side, and I'm 3 strides closer to the person that stands here because they're worried the bar's going to fall. So they get way back off the jump. So I like being here. Then when I'm here, do I just want to send them to here? No, because what do I want? I want collection. So that gives me time to set up to cue the collection like Jenny did. So I can stand here, go jump, stay connected with my dog, get right here and go jump, you know, and load up and get out of there so that what I can do then is get to here and do it again. But I'm working 3 steps ahead of my dog all the time in each spot, rather than jump, wait till they land, jump, wait till they land, jump, and go to an AKC show. See all this space?
Yeah.
People will use that to their advantage, and they'll actually articulate and say, well, doesn't matter. Look at all the space. They can't make a mistake. I'll just turn them after they land. And I'm like, really? Okay? Well, yeah, because what happens is they leap thinking they're going somewhere, and then when they're right about, oh, here, you're going, oh, and by the way, we are turning left, and it's this tunnel, and they're like, oh, crap, and then the bar comes down, and they go down on a shoulder. That's why they do it, because they've been startled with the turn, versus this. And now I've cued a line that I actually want.
Mark, I'm sorry,
So
but
this
what
is-
you always hear is, there'll be a jump here, and they'll go, well, my big dog just no way can make that turn because that's just not enough room for him to make that
Yeah.
turn.
When really all they need is this space.
And then
Right
Debbie comes
here.
along and makes it.
Yeah. But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is all they need. So all of that could be anything. That could be a pond with fishing. I don't care. You know, it doesn't really matter. All right? But see, what you're doing there, Deb, right now is you're still staying way off the obstacles. You stood here and you kind of did this. And I'm going to pick on you just a little. You just kind of went like this. And then you went like this. And that isn't cueing the turns. I'm going to be here, and I'm going to jump that, and I'm going to leave. Then the dog's coming in here, and I'm going to cue this and leave, and be much more demonstrative about the new directions and give that information earlier, rather than standing there and sending, and then fixing it, and then sending to the next spot, and then fixing it. My dog, I want Snap, or Maisie, or any of them, right here, to already know that it's a hard turn, there must be a tunnel or something over there. I want them to know it way back here, because if you look at collection done properly, there's 2 ways you see it dogs do it, and this is like I could talk all day. This one is important, but this one's important, okay? We learn from Linda, we've all done this drill where you stand here and you bring the dog into here. And she talks about the dog not diving into the spot. But when I watch people cueing collection, I see it over and over again. And I'm talking about the bigger dogs. I can't really talk to the poodles as much. But I would guess as fast as your dog is, that your dog is going to do the same thing. But I see dogs that in extension say they'd leave right here. That wouldn't be uncommon at 22 inches. Then I see a handler cue collection and the dog leaves right here. And what it does, instead of centering its arc over the bar, it puts the high spot right about here, and it jumps from the same spot high and then comes down on the bar. And then the handler sees that the dog landed right here, and they go, oh my dog collected so nicely. When they really didn't collect at all. When you're watching this in training, look at where they take off, not where they land. That is collection. Takeoff point constitutes collection. So if I'm working a collection drill, I'll put a landmark out here, say right there.
That's the takeoff point?
No, that's just a landmark.
Okay.
And then I'd send my dog over the jump, and I'd say, wow, when I'm not cueing collection, I could see the rear feet right here, about a few inches behind the cone, if that's the case. Then I cue collection, and I look for that takeoff point to move in. And if I see improvement, I treat it just like shaping behaviors. I don't care about the bar. I don't care about anything else. They got closer to the bar. Good dog. I mean, they may, if I'm working with somebody and they're new to this, the dog may stumble into that spot and take the bar down. But if they chose to add the stride and get closer, just like you'd shape something that starts to look like a sit when they're learning, I reward that. Good dog, you came in closer. And I do that watching for it. So I could spend all day on collection, and I won't. But takeoff point is what matters when we're working this, not where they land. Okay? All right.
So for this jump, you'd be cueing your collection here?
The dog would be wrapped around the corner, and I'd like to think that I'm already here, and we didn't do front crosses, but doing the front cross the way I do is I'd want to be out here, and I'd want to step towards takeoff. So the dog's just wrapped, and I'm going to say, you're doing this jump, and then I come across the dog's line. But I step towards takeoff now on these front crosses. And so while the dog's out there, go beat the dog. Just standing there. All right? If I'm running, if I'm doing your typical front cross that we've done for years, we're doing this, and then I'm doing this. So at what point did you see me turn?
Back here.
Yeah, you had already decided how you're going to jump that jump. So you were going to jump it in extension, and I was going to come back here near Glenn, and grab and go, because that's how your dog would have landed. Now go over there again. Now you've just wrapped the corner, and I'm doing this. Now, Howard, can you see how you got all that turning information way back there? So my step is saying, take the purple jump. My motion is saying, and we're going this way.
I can't remember who said it, but somebody said you should, on the front crosses, really be pointing where you want them to take off.
Yes, your laser pointer is pointing at that. We were working with Kale a couple weeks ago, and she was talking about doing extended front crosses where they're stretched out, because the less the turn is in the front cross, the harder it is to do.
Say that again?
The less turn there is in the front cross.
Yeah.
If the front cross went to the far tunnel, for some reason, if that was the position, it'd be a lot harder to do it, because then you have to, it's hard to step towards takeoff and get on the other side of the line. So what one line does is they run out here. We had a front cross drill, but I had to leave it off because we did the backside stuff. They still look the landing. So even though they're on the, or to takeoff, even though they're on the landing side of the jump, they're still gonna step towards that landing from way out here to initiate that whole thing. And if they're an extension, if that takeoff point is here, this is where they point their laser pointer in their step, is way back here. You see what I'm saying? So if the dog's coming through here in much more extension, they actually step to a point earlier because the dog is an extension. This is where the point happens. If the dog's in collection, they're stepping towards this point to get to the near side. And the one mind people will tell you the front cross is the hardest thing to teach because there's all this nuance to it, and it's the thing we do all the time. And if you just watch it show and just start scoring the quality of front crosses that you see, and I could write a book. Not that I do it that good, but there's enough material to write a whole book on front crosses.
So if you actually could do what you're just describing, but you used to, and you do it the old way, does your dog, are they going to just read that, or is that something that take training?
I find that the dogs read it quite,
Okay.
with quite a natural.
I didn't know if there
feel.
was just that little bit of like, oh, do I, bump out
Because
a little bit?
if we're going back to the original sequence, if your dog's coming through here and you step at them right here, that is a collection move, and it's gonna cause them to add strides. And then, but if you do that early enough, you've said, okay, that's the jump we're doing, and then you get out of here, you have time to work it on the takeoff side and still get to here. Versus what we normally do is we ignore the takeoff side, and we just run out to here and do this, and then that information's there much later. Okay? All right, so, simple 3 obstacles, 4 count the tunnel, but they should be done well and tight. I mean, yes, you can cue on this just by flinging them around, but I want you to make it finesse. All right? Then, how are you doing? Who's putting a side change between 4 and 5?
I am.
In the form of a line, yes.
Definitely.
So if you're getting this front cross in here, there's no reason you can't do that blind. And so when do you start rotating?
As soon as the dog is committed.
As soon as the dog's committed to the yellow tunnel, your work there is done, and you start rotating while they're in the act of doing it, so that you see them exit off your new side. So you send them from here, and you can just start rotating early. Okay? Is anybody worried about an off course after 5?
Oh, sure.
No.
Yeah, cue a turn. I thought about it.
Okay?
Yes.
All right, so how do you cue a turn here? It wasn't a big problem yesterday,
They should see
but
legs
everybody
go
worried
across.
about it. Well, that's a rear problem. You know, we're coming in from here. What can you do to get them to turn here?
Starting calling them early.
Get here early and a tunnel break. If I wanted the dog to be collected on this jump, what would I do? I'd get here early and I'd have that weight shift. So if you can get that blind cross done and go tunnel, that's gonna curl them out of the tunnel. If I come through here and I go tunnel, then it's gonna ask them to keep going.
Oh,
So a little tunnel break there will get a dog that hooks. Okay?
Or go to the middle here at least. And
Well
When you
then,
come out,
yeah, but there's a Humburg double in your future.
whichever way you do that.
There's a Humburg in your future. It might not wanna be
I
here.
might not be able to hear.
All right? So this is pretty simple. I'm gonna guess that most of you plan to be here.
Yeah.
To put them in that tunnel. The tunnel's been moved a little. We'll help you with that. Then the fun starts. All right, so with this thing, there are so many solutions. But I'm gonna give you a couple really simple things to talk about. One version would be that, right? Or the other way, that. All right? Another simple version would be, and then on the other side. Then you have combinations of those two. So you could do this and then wrap, right? Or you could go the other way and put the wrap over there. So if you're deciding how to do this, the first thing you decide is, well, you got to do this kind of at the same time. What's the best path for the dog? What's the cleanest line, provided you had every skill on the planet?
Well, first he's coming out of the tunnel out that way, so I'm thinking that would be easier to send him out that
Yes.
side.
But then that creates a liability in a longer path going into town.
Yeah.
The shortest path, I think, is this, not the shortest, but the smoothest path might be that, okay? So the shortest path is probably the double thing on the way out. But what did we say earlier about that? Nearly always, the natural path is faster. Nearly always. This would be interesting to find because there is a drastic distance between this and going all the way around there. Right? So the first thing you do is you consider all those options. Now you say skill set and where can I be? What is the thing that I have the skills to do? If this was next weekend at the USDA trial I'm going to, and the guy throws this out, I'm here to say I would do a double wrap because I want that biaxial on cue, and I'm not good enough at those Japanese and everything, all the backside stuff. So with Snap, I would